Hello guys, NautoAis here, and I want to give the announcement that happened in the Game Awards of 2024. So first of all, the Game Awards itself, I have to say that it's an improvement from last year. There was no disrespectful with the award winners, and of course there's no music that said please wrap it up, because that's what happened last year. I think they were trying to be like on schedule, and they're getting paid much for the advertisement, and I know it's kind of bullshit, because if you know the history that if you put your game to advertise in the Game Award, it costs a lot of money, into millions, but that's a different story there. So they did not do that one, but I did notice also that the lack of acceptance speech, but it is what it is, but at least they didn't do that please wrap it up, because especially when you do that to somebody from Nintendo, especially Eiji Aonuma for Tears of the Kingdom, that was a red flag there. So you gotta give them props, especially somebody from Black Myth Wukong, people from China. You need a translator, kind of understand what's going on there. So props to Jeff Kidd to some extent. Again, whether you like the Game Awards or not, that's up to you. Is it political? Does it send some sort of woke message? DIA factor? Who knows? You make your call, make your own decision, make your own conclusion. But to some extent, for me, I did enjoy the announcement, as well the presentation itself. Of course, you can't really have the Game Awards without the flute guy, so he was there especially for the Game of the Year music. Gotta love the guy. That'll be interesting if he has his own YouTube show to some extent, just playing his flute, but it is what it is there. So with that said, I am going to give my thoughts on the game announcement that I am interested, that caught my eye, and some of them might be surprising to some extent, starting with Ninja Gaiden Rage Bound. So it is a new Ninja Gaiden game. I don't know, it's a timeline from the NES timeline or the reboot timeline, but it does look like it takes place after Ninja Gaiden 3, and there is a new character, and that this guy is going to be killing demon in Japan, because of course if you know the story with Ninja Gaiden, Ryu Hayabusa is in America because of his father, Ken Hayabusa, to do something. I don't know the lore of Ninja Gaiden, but it is. So it is a 2D game, but it looks good. So the next one is, this was actually finally kind of revealed and makes more sense, and that is Shadow Labyrinth, a Pac-Man story. And at first, because it's something to do with the secret level, so when I start watching the secret level, the Pac-Man first, like, this is kind of weird for a Pac-Man metaphor. I mean, maze, ghost monsters, you have to eat them, but it's kind of weird. It was so dark. So for a while I said, oh, maybe it's just a metaphor thing, and that's the whole point what secret level is. And then when they show this game, oh, that makes more sense, because credit to Alexi Lee, who voices one of the characters in the secret level. Apparently, he explained that that's what that episode's all about. It's about Shadow Labyrinth, which is, again, a different take of a Pac-Man story. So you're not playing as Pac-Man, you are playing some sort of alien, and there is a floating Pac-Man type character by the name of Puck. Because if you don't know, before he was Pac-Man, it was Puck-Man. Puck, because it rhymes with another word. If you have a dirty mind, then you know what I'm talking about. But there you go. Very dark for a game. So it is going to be interesting coming out in 2025. So the next one here, I'm not really interested with the game or the franchise, but I did play the previous one. You can see in my extended channel, because I'm playing it for a friend. And they finally revealed the concept, a trailer for what Witcher 4 is. So first of all, it is what it is. If you played The Witcher 3 and you get the true ending, it is about Ciri. There's going to be a hint that Ciri is going to be the main character, and they even said it in development, so they finally showed Ciri. And again, a lot of people making a controversy because they say, oh, she's not a Witcher, female can't be Witcher. I didn't really follow the lore that much, but to some extent, they might explain it in the game itself. The game's not going to come out probably 2026 and 2027. That's just my guess. And some people might say, what happened to The Witcher? What happened to CD Projekt Red? Why is it all suddenly they're going political? If that's what you think, again, to some extent, different people probably working this game. The OG probably left, Future Endeavor, whatever the reason is. So probably different development team. It is what it is. As of right now, I don't really see anything that's the IE factor, but we just have to wait for it. But yes, so Ciri is going to be the main character. And then another one I'm not really a fan of, because I'm not really a fan of Dark Souls game, but they did show a new standalone Elden Ring game called Night Trench. And this time, it's going to be a multiplayer type game. So it's not going to be just one guy versus monsters. It's going to be multiplayer, either going to be competitive or cooperative, who knows. Again, all I can say is easy mode. Yes, easy mode. Okay, I don't know if they're going to do that. Of course, they refuse to do that. The creator even said it that it doesn't really make sense to put an easy mode in this type of game, but it is what it is. I mean, I played Elden Ring. It is hard. That's the idea of the game. Easy mode? Okay, maybe not. So the next one is an announcement from the developer of Eco, Shadow of Colossus, and The Last Guardian. They are doing a new game. What is it? Something looks like it's sci-fi. There's robots, there's monsters. Who knows right now? It is just a teaser. So there you go. So if you're a fan of those games, you're a fan of the developer, there's their latest game there. And then this one just caught my eye a bit. It's called Steel Hunters, a mech battle game that looks like virtual art. So it looks super actiony in my opinion. Looks interesting. Just we're gonna need more information in the long run, but hey, just want to give it out there, my thoughts a bit. So the next one are from HoYoverse. 2 new announcements. One first, Zenless Zone Zero. Of course, they're gonna have a new character in the game, new event. It is what it is, a gacha game. And I'm not gonna lie, HoYoverse games are fun, but some people don't like it because it's free to play gacha game, whatever. You do you, I do me. It is what it is. So new characters in that game. As well in Honkai Railstar, there's going to be another new character that's going to be added. And a new story again. Again, if you like this game, check them out. It's free to play. You don't have to pay anything. And it is kind of fun to some extent, but it is a gacha game, so free to play. You got to make a note about that one. And then the next one is a teaser for Sonic Racing Cross World. So apparently a sequel to Sonic Racing, but this time around, once again, your vehicle is going to be able to transform to land, sea, and air, but it's going to be just Sonic characters. I prefer to be an all-star Sega cast, but I don't know what's going on. It's a teaser trailer, nothing much. We'll just have to wait and see. So the next one, of course, a new feature is going to come in 2025 for Power World called Faybreak. New Power World monsters, new features. And yes, unfortunately, one of the updates, they had to modify the throwing effect, the throwing mechanic, because if you don't know, Nintendo's right now in a lawsuit with it for patent infringement, which is bullshit in my opinion, but it is what it is. So right now, they're doing what they need to do. Nintendo, shame on you. That's kind of gross what you did there. And then, of course, options are always good. So Square Enix announced Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be in PC 2025. There you go. So, of course, better performance because it's on the computer. Modification, of course. And, of course, Square Enix said, just don't be grody about it. Sorry. First sales law. They could do whatever they want the minute they bought the game. So, if you don't like it, tough luck. First Amendment, I know in Japan they don't have that, but different story there. So, now you have that option. It's going to be finding on PC. Hopefully, Steam and Epic Game Store, give them option. And like I said in the beginning, if you watch on the PS5 and in Steam from the launch, it's probably going to make more sense, but I don't know what they were trying to do. I think they probably just accept the exclusive deal with Sony, and I guess it bit them in the ass. So, speaking with Final Fantasy 16 Clive will make an appearance, yes, in Tekken 8 as the 4 DLC characters. So, of course, when I saw, how come they're doing anything with Final Fantasy 16 after they're done with the game? And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at the arena, I'm looking at like, oh no, this is the Tekken showcase. And yes, so guest character. A lot of people are not happy. They'd rather have Tifa. But if you watch one of Max's video, he can explain about the crossover character, the guest character. It's not that easy. And I guess people just like Clive more than Tifa. It is what it is. What I think about it, it's probably much better if Clive was in Soul Calibur. But of course, that franchise is dead as of right now. 16 do good according to Namco Bandai. The guy that's trying to champion it, Okubo, left. It is what it is there. And then, speaking of fighting game, I gotta admit that Sega is on the roll. So first of all, they finally announced a new Virtual Fighter game. I'll dub it Virtual Fighter 6. And it's gonna be developed by two companies, AM2, which are the original people from the Virtual Fighter series, and RGG Studio. Apparently they knew the mechanic. Of course, if you didn't know, they did Virtua Fighter 5 Esports / Ultimate Showdown. They're also now doing on Steam Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, which has rollback, tournament-worthy game. But of course, like I said, they are now also announcing they are working on Virtua Fighter 6. It's going to be a long way, according to them. And they already revealed one new character, which is Stella. Yes, she does resemble Sarah, so I don't know what the story with that one. And apparently Akira now wears some sort of coat and hat. I don't know what the story is. Probably time skip, moving forward with the timeline. People are getting old, which is kind of sort of makes sense. And it is what it is. And you should, because make them ageless is kind of weird, because I know King of Fighter kind of did that in the past, for market reason. But at least now they're moving forward with the timeline, so gotta give them props. And not only that, RGG Studio also announced a new Yakuza type game that's set in the 1915, and that is called Project Century. So no new title yet. What it is, it's going to be like a brawl, more realistic brawl, not like Yakuza, because what it looks like, the main character is having a hard time fighting someone, unlike Kiryu's like invincible, but we'll just have to wait and see. But gotta give props to RGG Studio, they are on the roll. So this one, I'm not really interested, but the direction for this game actually kind of makes me say maybe I can now try to play it. And that is a new Turok called Turok Origin. But the interesting part, the reason I want to be in this thoughts, is that the game now is going to be in third person like Gears of War rather than first person, because if you know the Turok game, it's always been first person. So with basically being third person, maybe I can try it out, but we'll just have to wait and see. And then you gotta give props to Capcom finally listening to the fan, because if you didn't know, also in the news that Capcom are now considering reviving old franchise. Mega Man, they did that before, but maybe now with X, Legend, EX series, whatever, because they're doing those collections, but they might consider doing a new iteration of those, Breath of Fire, Tech Romancer, etc, 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 because first of all, they announced Omnimusha. Yes, so no, not related to Omnimusha, the Netflix, so I don't know who the character is. People might say it was Musashi, but it might be a different character. But the game will not come out in 2026, that's what they said, but a new Omnimusha game, so they're happy with that one. And not only that, they're also going to finally do Okami 2. Yeah, there is going to be an Okami sequel, but you might say, wait a minute, I thought there was an Okami in the DS game. Apparently that's a spin-off, so the kid is supposed to be the son of the main character of Okami, and then Atomaratsu, the little puppy, is like the son of, I think, I don't know, I can't remember, it was a long time ago. I did play the game, it's fun. Maybe they'll remaster that in the long run before releasing Okami 2. But the interesting part about this one is that the guy who's gonna be in charge is Hideki Kamiya, the guy who did Bayonetta. And if you didn't know, last year he left Platinum because of creative differences, politics. So what happened was he created his own independent studio called Clover's Inc. Yes, it is based on Capcom's one of their development division, Clover Studio, which has got shut down. So there are no connection. Remember, this is an independent company, has nothing to do with Capcom, it's just the name. But yes, Hideki Kamiya and some other famous guy created a company called Clover Inc. So proud to them. And then, of course, there's a game that looks like maybe another free-to-play open world, Arad Dungeon and Fighter. So I don't know if it's related to Dungeon Fighter Online, but it looks cool. Anime-ish. I always like anime-ish game. And then move from there is with Sony. So first of all, they announced The Last of Us Part 2 for PC. So just like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth PC, better performance. So here are your option there. So the final part I want to give my thoughts on for this Game Awards 2024. And this one is really a doozy. And oh boy, a lot of controversy to some extent, because what it is a new IP from Sony, the developer Naughty Dog, so that's a keyword there. So they showed a game in the vision of Neil Druckmann, and that is Intergalactica, the Heretic Space, or something like that. And if you saw the trailer, oh boy, you know where it's going to some extent. So I'm not going to judge it, because already you have this, I guess, I don't know if it's politic or not, it's up to you. You got a female, doesn't really look anime-ish in my opinion. It's based on an actress, so it is what it is. She has a shaved head, I guess Neil Druckmann has the fetish for that. I don't know, not touching that. And it's basically space theme in the 80s. So I guess it's an alternate Earth where it's futuristic but still 1980. And the way the main character acts is like, oh, I'm a woman, I'm dominant, I'm alpha, I'm the pack leader, if you say that. And you get the idea. So for me, I'm not going to judge what the game is all about, what it is. So from what I understand, the premise is she's a bounty hunter and she's looking for people. And yes, a lot of the game characters are based on actors. I mean, it is what it is sometimes. It's sort of a market thing. It makes it. And apparently with Neil Druckmann, apparently he's inspired of doing some sort of like movie cinematic whatever. Because, I mean, Hideo Kojima, Death Stranding, Metal Gear Solid, even him, he also like to make video game into like cinematic movie, but it is what it is. So is this game woke as people say political? For me personally, I don't know. I really don't know yet because you need more information. Right now, the way it showed, and of course, because of what's happening since 2020, yeah, and you might say, well, it's 2024, things are changing. How come this game is like still like from peak woke 2020? Well, whether you like or not, Jeff Keighley basically said was, this game was in development since in 2020, so it started where the peak of politics, diversity, the DI factor. What can you do? It is what it is there. And I said before, I really don't care. It's a creation, it's an idea, it's their decision. I'm not going to judge it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I mean, oh, Naughty Dog is good. Now people change. People are different now in the company from what I understand. That the people who work in there are not what they used to be in the past. So what can you do? Same goes with, of course, The Witcher 4. A lot of people who are behind that development are different people from the past. So what can you do? It is what it is. So right now for me, I'm gonna hold off judgment about if this game's political or not. Yeah, you got a female lead. I mean, there's a lot of it. The way she acts, yeah, maybe she's like trying to be a pack leader, alpha female, whatever. You do gotta keep in mind about Neil Druckmann. That's the thing. That guy is very political. He is a very political person. He is a feminist, whether you like or not. And he idolized Anita Sarkeesian. So you kind of get an idea of who Neil Druckmann is. Yeah, that's why when he took over Naughty Dog and he was in charge of The Last of Us 2, a lot of the elements were changed from the first game. That's the thing. And again, whether you like or not, that's always his vision. His vision of video game is diversity. What do you need? This sexy, waifu, big boob, nice ass G-string type of character. I mean, not everyone's like that. I mean, video game is him, but for him, it's a different perspective video game. I mean, he's in charge. He created the game. So what can you do? And like a lot of people said, if you don't like what's going on, create your own game. In the case with Intergalactica, well, make your own decision. Buy it, don't buy it, whatever. For me, I'm gonna wait because it's not gonna be a while. For my instance, either late 2025 to 2026. So we'll just have to wait and see for that one. So there you go, my thoughts of the Game Awards 2024. I have to say, the award itself, the presentation, much better than last year. They're learning. Let's see what happened in 2025. As for the game announcement, you know you go there for the announcement, not really for the awards. Even so, some of the award winner are sort of interesting. Especially congrats to Asobi and Sony for making Astrobot Game of the Year. I know somebody from Game Science was kind of like confused. But here's the reality about Black Myth Wukong. It is a good game. No woke, no DI factor. However, the majority of people who are neutral, that doesn't give a shit about the politics in the game, mostly they said was, it's a good action game, but it's not something dynamic, it's not something new, it's been there, done that, so why? So, it is what it is. At least with Astrobot, it looks like something unique. Yes, it is kind of sort of a crossover with Ratchet and Clank, Splatoon, and Super Mario Odyssey. Heck, even the developer even indirectly gave thanks to Nintendo without saying Nintendo. Why? Like I said it on Twitter. Competition, conflict of interest. You don't want indirectly giving promotion to your competitor. It just doesn't make sense. It is what it is there. For me, Astro Boy being Game of the Year for the Jeff Keighley show, yeah, it kind of makes sense there. Just there. That's just my opinion. So anyway, announcement, good. Really interesting. Can't wait for 2025 and beyond. The presentation itself, they're improving. Credit to Jeff Keighley. So there you go. So what's next? Well, there's going to be another Game Award, but this time it's from Side Scroller with Stuttering Craig, if you know the guy from Screw Attack. Apparently, according to him, it's going to be in January, and I don't know what it is, what they're going to do, but maybe he'll probably send a message to some extent with the gaming industry. We'll just have to wait and see, but that's a different story there. So anyway, with that, I'll see you guys later.